Hello, everybody. I am not in mute. Woohoo! So that means you can hear everything. And I'm not using my professional microphone. So woohoo! And you can't see me. Woohoo! There's a lot of woohoos in there. Anyhow, this is a premiere show, like a pilot show right now, in terms of what is happening. So let me tell you something, okay? First of all, I called on upon my sisters, and this is actually really amazing because I had nothing tonight. And so when I said, "Hey, you guys wanna jump in on my new TV show?" And they're like, "Sure, what is our topic?" No clue. Let's just do it together. And you know what better way to start Level Up Academy TV to literally meet my mission. Okay, it's been a year since I created this mission to level up the world through education. But really, I want to be the Netflix of education, and I can't do it alone. I need all your help. What better way to get help than to get all of my sisters in here? I have a lot of brothers and sisters, but I do have an inner circle, and you'll see them soon, actually, in here too. But these are my co-sisters right now too. When I'm falling, they're there, okay, to keep me in line. I do get out of control, and I do have a squirrel attitude where I just jump conversations from another. So if that is the case, that's what's going to happen. So anyway, tonight's episode is season 1, episode 1, about friendship as a foundation of social entrepreneur. I was actually at Damien's live today, and they were talking about entrepreneurship, gigapreneur, and also solopreneur. So that's a great conversation. But really, this TV show on Sunday is all about educating you on conversations. We're going to talk real world, real situations, what we do with them, how we're going to do with them, and how people are going. You're like, CJ, I can't see your face. I know, it's on purpose. I see text over here. Okay, I'm not messing around tonight. I just want to make sure that you see my sisters' faces, and these are the people who always have my back. Guys, you got me. There's a lot of people, but ta-da! Look, do you like my little background? Like, look at my hair. It's totally crazy, right? You can see through. Anyhow, first things first, this TV show on Sunday at 7 p.m. PST, it's going to be me teaching you as if I'm teaching in live lectures. I've been a professor for almost 11 years now. Probably have over almost close to 12,000 students. And sometimes I read like crazy pages, not for my anthology, for my grading. So please write well because it's killing me when you unplug at the no conclusion paper. That's a different conversation. But here is my commitment to my community to give free education. I have 4 degrees going in fifth, and I'm trying to share as much education as I can. Whatever that I teach at university level or my courses that I create for content creation and things like that, about business research, about statistics, which social media platform, I will always connect the dots for you in terms of what I'm teaching you and how I'm doing it. I'm a very hands-on teacher. I don't just use theory. I use that theory and I fill that gap so that you can use that knowledge right away. But I don't want to have this conversation all by myself. So are you guys ready for my sisters? I'm just going to bring them up. There you go. There you go. We're getting busy tonight. How are you guys doing, sisters? Let's go to Danielle. Sister, what's up?
Good. How are you, sister? Happy Sunday.
Yeah, it's been good. So tell me a little bit about what do you think on what do you think about friendship and social entrepreneurship? Like, we're friends, but we're trying to create hopefully a co-op soon on Level Up Academy so we can teach courses but also be a consultant for people, right? How hard and how easy is it for you to be a solopreneur all by yourself?
So, this is year 2 or 3 for us almost. And doing it by myself or with my co owner without other people in different businesses is hard. It's like you're on this island, isolated, nobody's with you. And when you go through these hard times, you're by yourself. But when you have sisters that are in business, that are entrepreneurs too, it's motivation to just keep going. And they pick you up when everything is falling down. So for me, it has been a lifeline for my business to keep on going.
Yeah. How about you, Dr. Trung? Always people call you Dr. Nu. That's your first name. That's like saying Dr. Constance. I feel weird about that. Like, so Dr. Trung, right? How about you, sister? How is it you doing your own business, and the difference between just doing it on your own versus having support system?
Well, thank you for the question, sisters. And it's always my honor. I'm grateful to be here. I'm thankful for all those who are joining us tonight. And before we get started, for those who are listening, may you always be healthy, happy, and abundance of joy and love and prosperity in all that you do, not only for yourself, but then also just pass it on that love, kindness, that empathy, and compassionate to others. So that is my wish to you. And to answer your question, sisters, is that, you know, friendship and community, that's all, it's like you have alignment, right? The alignment of you have the same vision, you have the same value, the core essence of what you do, the industry and what your experience might be a little different, but we all have similarity because we're heart center. We're doing it for the people, and entrepreneurship is very tough. And for most people who are starting out, it's a lonely, and it's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of ups and downs, and that's when you need your community, like our sisters here, that can tap into when you have personal things going on, when you have internet like AT&T that kind of crash on you or it might not work. Those are things that are unexpected that you would need your community. And Susanna, Danielle, or CJ, those are the people that are tap into and in tune with your energy, right? With if you don't sound right today, you say I'm okay. No, you're not okay. That kind, and I think those are where you need people who really, you know, reminding you that we are here for you. That it's not about the money, it's about beyond that. That is not a transaction. This is where we're here for each other for life. And if business work out, that's why friendship is so important, to have that community, and that's what it's all about for me. So I'm thankful, I'm grateful for all of you. Love you all.
Thank you. I know Russ is here. Sindel. Okay, really quickly. Sindel. Woot. She is helping us for our anthology on the back of the book. Okay? Because I don't have time. Can I do it? Of course. Do I want to do it? Heck no. So I'm like, hey, you want a homework? So like, just remember, guys, if I give you homework, that means I like you. I know I'm the opposite, right? It's my teacher side in me, and I want to give credit where credit is due. She is working hard on getting those back cover of the book to just line up so I can put our names in it. I can put our beautiful, message in it. So Sindel is my superhero for that back of the book. So we're working hard on it so we can get it out. It's going to come up in March 14th. So before I go on, I want to also, this is my sanity check right here, Susanna. I've been having a hard time. I want to talk about, friendship and communications and things like that. But I've been having a hard time for the last 2 months on friendship, really, right? When you care about someone, you make excuses for their behavior. Susanna has been my sanity, quite honestly. And sister, truly amazing. I love you. This is all about education. And I think people should understand that you can't play with emotions because it's just too much, right? And that words are very, 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 very important. I would rather someone beat me up, literally, because I can heal from that, than someone tells me a word that you can't take back. Okay, because you can't take back your words. Whatever you release comes out of your mouth. That's truly how you truly feel. When you say, "Oh, I was drunk. I didn't mean it." No, truly inside of your self, you truly mean that, right? So for me, Sister Susanna, this question is very personal, right? So friendship as a foundation of social entrepreneur. How has your experience been? Because you just reminded me that I think we've met like 1 year now, or coming up soon, right?
It's basically been a year. This weekend is when we first crossed paths. You were on another show, and really that connection was the connection really started when I put a comment in about the butterfly effect and how I wouldn't change anything that happened to in the past, even the ugly stuff, till now, because now I can look in the mirror and I'm happy who I see. And from that point, it's like you and I just connected. And then we met the next week, and I was on your show on International Women's Day last year.
Yeah, and it's been a whirlwind because we've never really met. We've connected online, we talked, we've Zoom, right? But we really
Oh, yeah.
never met until recently in January when you said yes, go ahead, let's go to Podfest. So it's been an amazing experience having you as a friend, a confidant, and also really as a business partner to get through it. How important is communications to you, sister? And I'm going to go back this way. Danielle would be the last on that one.
Well, communication is important, but another thing that's really important as part of that communication is that friendship. To be honest, if we talk with each other and say something that might just be a little off, we're not afraid to say, "Wait a minute, what are you talking about?" and work through it if it's like two different ideas or a misunderstanding even. Just being able to talk through it, trust each other enough to say what's on our minds, try and figure out whatever the focus of it is. And it's just, especially with you, it's kind of worked out that there's times that we don't even have to really say anything. We kind of already know what's going on, and it just makes it's just another form of communication, actually, and makes it easier for us to bounce ideas off of each other, even as simple as that. That's such an important aspect of communication, is to bounce ideas, clarify the ideas, and then turn them into something that becomes real and magical.
Yeah, I think what it is too is that having a friend as your business partner is a balance, right? It's a balance of respect, empathy, and considerations, right? Because sometimes, even though we're close, you still don't really know what the other person is doing or feeling or doing anything. And so I think having empathy and also having considerations that we don't really know what's going on through, like we're aware with Danielle, but having considerations if she needs something else rather than that, you got to be more flexible, right? Flexibility is everything. How about you, sis Trong? How do you feel about what I said in considerations and the way you communicate with people, not just with us, but with other people when it comes to social entrepreneur, right? Social entrepreneur, because we're all in a business, hounds and business community. We're all in community. We're also in Level Up. You're also part of other projects out there in other communities. So how do you weave in everything and have that same type of communication with everyone? Because I honestly feel like I communicate differently with certain people, and it's not fakery or anything because I don't do fake stuff anyway. If I don't like you, I just go silent. If I don't like you and you mean something to me, then I will talk to you. And if I don't care about you, why would I give you energy? Like, why? No, right? So, but there's always that communication of like, even though you might not like someone, or even though you don't know someone, not that you don't even like, you just don't know them, but you've been following them because we have a lot of friends that we follow, and then they engage. How do you communicate with people to that? Because we were talking about pitch slapping on DMs and things like that. Instead, for me, I don't get mad right away, honestly, because it's that teacher mode that kicks in. Like, they don't know what they don't know. So instead of me getting mad at them that they pitch slap me, I give them a chance to say, hey, by the way, this is not, I don't need it yet. Because that's how I taught Christian, right? He actually keeps tagging me on how I taught him because he did, he pitch slapped and things like that in audio room. And I said, culturally speaking, it's just two different cultures, right?
Mhm.
And if you're taught in your culture to this is how you do business in US, you just pitch slap them. They don't even probably know what a pitch slap is. Honestly, they don't, right? And we get mad because we don't like it, but it's your job to let them know that you don't like it and this is not the way, right? Now if they keep doing it, that's a different story. Now at that point you're getting on my nerves because you're not listening. But the first time, I think it's a freebie for me, because I think it's our job to learn different culture, but it's also our job to teach them our ways and our culture. What are your thoughts on that?
So for me, communications, there's a lot of aspect is to have that empathy, and oh, you have mom, CJ?
That's
And
my daughter.
Daughter.
My
I was
eldest.
like, hey mom, supportive. Oh, hi,
Oh,
Hi,
mini
Angelina.
CJ.
She's watching. I love you, babe.
Oh,
I call her the
well,
babe.
your mom is awesome. Just
yeah.
I'm sure you look like sisters out there, not just mom and daughter. But you probably don't want to hear that. But she looked young.
I love her so much. Oh my gosh.
And really communications, back to the topic is, for me, there's a lot of factors. I guess it depends on what environment, if we're dealing with someone new, if we're dealing with someone a different culture background in different setting. But the ultimate is getting to know someone and building that relationship, but also having that empathy, knowing where they come from, right? Because, for instance, you might acknowledge, like when we greet one another, you would say, hi, how are you? That cordial, but also you really genuinely mean it and follow through. Communication is not a one side, but also knowing what the other person is trying to communicate. So instead of just yapping out mouth, sometimes it's like about me. I'm this, I'm that, but you have to get to know the other person. So communication is sometimes, when they say that we have two ears, because you need to listen, be mindful of what the other person is trying to tell you. Because if you're biased, whatever they say, and you already judgment, right? You already judge them of, oh, they didn't respect me because I'm so and so. I am a boss. I'm your manager. I have this credential, because your ego kick in, right? So sometimes it's having that check in to yourself when you have those things that arise, and how you um, react to someone instead of reacting really quickly. That response of auto response of saying, why did you say that, that is disrespectful to me, but maybe they didn't mean it that way, right? So that open, that communications of how you would like to be communicated, that is why you need to, I think this is so huge at the topic of communication, because it's not just about business, it's about relationship to sister, mother and daughter. It's really knowing how they would like to be communicated, not how you want it to communicate it. That is so important, because when you know how Susanna, Danielle, CJ, or myself, we like to be communicated, then you know how they would love to greet and follow through, instead of you thinking, this is my way of communicating. So that is where you have to be mindful, not only when you say that, when someone say one time and you already have that first impression of someone, right? So when people say that, it's so quick because people judge. It's so hard to say don't judge the book by its cover, but then again, people do, because of the busy lives that we all limited to time. We only have 24 hours, and when you have multiple hats and different jobs, or different hustle, different business, people don't really have time for, when people talk about foolishness, meaning pitch slapping on LinkedIn or other world. You're not building, you're not communicating, you're just wanting salesy. When people say you just wanting your whatever it's in it for you. So I think sometimes just wait a minute, how would you want to be treated? How would you want to, so put yourself on the other person's side, on their foot, then you will be able to communicate better. That's where I see that you can enhance our communication. And it's always by being open to learn, having an open heart to receive and learn. Because if you're not, you have that filters on, you're not going to be able to learn. You're not going to be able to change the way you would want to improve yourself, because we all can improve. So that's my take.
Yeah, that's awesome because, trying to be present, like you said, God gave us 2 ears to listen more and one mouth, but we talk a lot. I'm guilty. I have no
Mhm.
problem talking and not listening. Yeah, that's my superpower too. Especially if you have ADHD. But the thing is, it's really hard for us who have ADHD to really be present because our mind, it's not that we're intentional. It's just bounce off. Like my head just bounce ideas everywhere. Like monkey here, monkey there. Oh, my dog is like literally. My husband would be talking, and then my dog would be like walking by, and I'm like, oh hi, and my husband's like, hello. I was just talking to you. I'm like, oh yeah, what were you saying? And it's really annoying. It's not like I mean to. It's just the way it is. Like when you're having
Yeah.
a conversation, and it's difficult because it does ruin relationship. It does ruin friendship. It does ruin business partners, right? So my ADHD sister, your turn. Talk to me about that listening and communication.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say that I think being mindful in your communication, right? Listening more, which can be hard for someone who's neurodiverse because we're having 10 conversations in our head, and being present while we're communicating. But I think um, be yourself when you're communicating, whether it be in business or, with your friends or your sisters. Really listen in it. And I think even deeper when you can understand someone's love language, how they like to communicate. That way we can have deeper understanding of how it can be received. I think New said this as well. Um, and it really happens when you're empathetic of, if I was that person, how would I want to be talked to? And our body language often tells us how we are feeling about the communication. So listening with intention, and really understanding from that vantage point, to communicate not only in business but also with our friends.
Or a disappearing sister. I don't know.
We miss you.
I
Or a
I swear,
disappearing.
every time I've been on you with Wave, I disappear at least once.
I know. I was like, oh, where is she? Wave takes a lot more bandwidth because it is 1080p. So like, it's 4K, right? So sometimes I'm like, look at me, I'm stuck because it's 4K and it takes a lot of bandwidth. But in terms of friendship as a foundation of solopreneur, a lot of people love the support, but there's this sometimes when people say something, especially the people that you like, and you feel like there's something definitely wrong, but you can't pinpoint it. Like, I do vibe. I don't know how about you guys, but I feel like when I have a conversation with someone or I'm following someone on social media, it's not, I don't know if it's a stereotype or racism or vibe. I don't know how you to explain that, but like, I feel that vibe of a person, that energy level, that sometimes when they speak, or they talk, they don't mean what they say. And the problem is, I don't think they are aware, right, that they're giving that vibe. Now, if you are on the other end, right, and you happen to know that this person means somebody to somebody that you like a lot, how would you approach the way you communicate? Or would you even approach that? Or would you just leave it alone?
I I mean, I think it's a challenge to your own biases because we all have them. And so it's a way to challenge the way that we're thinking, and grow from it. Because I think Mike talks about this in The Hounds, is that, sometimes it's just a misunderstanding. And we cannot iron those misunderstandings out if we don't challenge the way that we're communicating, being flexible in our biases and expanding our way of thinking, because that way we can find deeper connection with others. So that's my answer.
All right, Susanna, we're going this way.
Well, when you talk about the vibes, that is, in many ways, that's also where empathy comes into these conversations, because I find that there really is an energy with those who I really connect with. And if the vibe's not there, if something's not feeling right, that may not mean that I'm not going to go and I'm not going to talk with that person anymore, but I'm going to be much more reserved and trying to figure out what is it that's holding me back. Is it something that's me, or is it something that's them? Is there a reason? Is there a reason to just kind of take a few steps back and make sure that I know what that feeling really is? Because the vibes that are there, I think long ago I probably didn't notice it, but of late I really start noticing where I feel a comfort level with somebody and where I don't. And that's, to me, that's where that vibe is. And I think that's just being a bit more empathetic as well of what each person is like.
Okay, I'm gonna switch up because this is somebody that we're all moms in here. So I'm gonna switch up on how does social entrepreneurship, right? How do you guys, especially I'm gonna start with Trong now. How do you maintain, nurture your personal friendships with us and with other people while managing being a mom, being a wife, and all your responsibilities as a business owner? How has that been like managing those two or three or four hats?
So time management, huh? So it's really time blocks, and you put what's most important to you, right? And make sure you either, let's say prep them if it's a laundry, if it's a food, if it's, kids, meals, book bag ready for the next day, clothes, whatever it is. Instead of having that panic of, oh my goodness, where, a panic attack because is so chaotic, then preparing that preparation is important, that you have it all prepared. So mentally, you know where everything's at. So the next morning, you wake up, you already know what you're looking at. So the same thing with business, I see is that you look at the week ahead to see what all things you have. And then what all the things that's most important. If it's a kids activity, if it's a award ceremony that you need to attend, then that needs to be blocked off, right? Because when we go to entrepreneurship, we also need to look into, there's a lot of times that we make sacrifices that we are here and not with our family, but then it's also a privilege because then we can have time blocks so that way we show up for our kids when they need us most. So those are the things I think managing the time is that you maximize and really be mindful, but also you focus. So whatever it is that you get into your routine. So when you go in, you say, I'm going to do this for journal. If I'm going to write a book, if I'm going to edit, then this time is after the kids go sleep. This is your time. So you got to do whatever, if it's 5-10 minutes, if it's a meditation, if it's a yoga, if it's a stretching, if it's a walking, to know that you have that done. So your mind is clear and then you get settled in. So your mind is not having to follow up, not having to have this thoughts. Did I do this? Did I do that? While you're doing something that you need undivided attentions. So I think sometimes having that routine, but also preparation is key. And having that, it will be not only prevent you from the burning out between juggling the mom hat, the working, the entrepreneur, and mom here. I'm talking about people who even have pets, right? Pets is considered kids for people, or even if you have like family member that you're taking care of, that's still considered someone that you need extra attentions to. So those are the things that I think that is also very important, but also know what brings you joy and kind of spiritually set you in a mode that will help you. So that is how I go through, and that gratitude is a blessing for us to be here. Like for me, I always start my day and end my day, and it literally become my DNA. In every moment of my life, it's like, even if it's tough, but when you go through and you don't see it as a tough, you see it as opportunities, so much that you're able to do, but you also being present. So it's like being juggled, but then you also, when you're there, you fully present. So sometimes I just, my phone's away, right? Or if I'm at the park, then there was like, oh, I'm at the park, I'm playing with the kids. So those are things that it will help you make sure that you're not just bouncing and scatterbrain when you're at the park and thinking, oh, have I edited my book for the anthology? So really
Yeah.
focus.
So then I'm like, hello. It was to edit. Final Wednesday. Like, oh my gosh, you're just giving us excuse to nag on you. Okay, thank you. That's live, recorded. Oh my gosh, that is so true. Sister Danielle, what ways can social entrepreneurship, right? Because I see you and Shanda really leverage your friendship to create a stronger impact in your social initiative without compromising your integrity or friendship, or you know what I mean? Like, how do you do that? How do you make sure that you're not compromising anything, especially if you're trying to help somebody else and you're needing somebody else to help with that?
Right. For shout out to Shonda Spates, my sister, doing great work in suicide prevention and the world in her community, North Carolina. So shout out to her. I think it's really important, again, communication. And we have shared faith. To me, I put that first. And my friends that are close to me, like you all sisters and Shonda, we understand that we also have a business to run. So balance, right? Respecting one another and being understanding of the things that we have on our plate with our faith, um, and shared hope, and looking forward to the future together, right? It has really helped us both, I think, to keep moving forward, because I think earlier I was telling Sister Susanna, 20% of businesses fail in the first 2 years, and 50 after the first 5, 70 after 10. But I was telling her, wow, I think time has just passed. And when you have friends like that, and when you really, you know, that friendship is the foundation of your business, it means much more when you do something together, right? So it's a foundation of everything. And that happens with empathy, and just I think we've all probably talked about and touched on it, but love. So when you have that hope and faith, it just keeps you going in everything. So I think I answered your questions.
You did. You did. And the reason I brought up Shanda, it's because, her cause is near and dear to me. And I talked to you guys about that with Angelina. Can't believe she showed up. She probably is gone now. Babes, I'm talking crap about you now live publicly. I'm just saying.
Oh,
But music really helps her get through the bullying and the heartache. And she's gonna be. I'm not gonna tell her age. She's gonna be mad at me. I'll stop there as a mom. Let's just say she's closer to not being a teen anymore, right? um, but it's just a fact that there are certain things that we go through life, and from every single person that you guys are, the reason that you are who you are today is because of all the adversity and trials and tribulations that you have in the past and you are currently still facing today,
yeah.
right? um, but what really is different than most people, and sometimes we look at our stories and we think, I'm not special, I just do it because I have to and it's just done, right? And it
Mhm.
somehow being special is a bad thing, and it's not, right? It's the same word as being unique, really, limited edition, whatever we want to people call that. And it's because my kids are both 3 years gap. They came from the same mom and dad that I know of, because I was knocked out most of the time. And they have two different personalities. They have two different attitudes, and the babes, Angelina, she actually is the calm one. The way I communicate with my kids usually is with Janellas or screaming. If you don't know what Janellas is, it's slippers. Like, what do you mean? And I literally will jump off. I'm short. My kids are taller than me. I jump off from the table and I'm like, what do you mean? Trying to be a mom, and now I can't because they're big now. I just have to talk to them, and she can probably answer it better than I can, and on how I raise them. It's just that respect and love, it should be there, not just for your family but also for yourself. We're so busy loving others, we
Yeah.
forget to love ourselves. And also when it comes to forgiveness, whether it's friendship, relationship, business partners who's really messed you up, maybe they need it more, right? And so you guys are special to me in my heart because you're no longer surviving in your adversity. You're literally thriving. We're still in it. I'm not saying we're past. We're still in it, right? But we're now thriving because we realize we have self awareness. We don't live in our heads anymore. We live in reality. The only way we could do that is to talk to each other and say, hey, Susanna, I'm feeling like this, and this is what's happening. Like, can you tell me? And that's important because when you have friends who just toot your own horn and suck your whatever and said, you're doing great, you're amazing. I don't want a friend like that. If I'm out of line, you freaking tell me and I'm in line because then I can wake up, right? And Susanna is very good at that. She's very good with her words, and I get her right away. I'm like, all right, I'm out of line. Fine, I'll pick myself right now. She's good at telling me like I'm literally out of line. I'm like, I said, listen, I'm a diva, I'm bougie, and I'm this, but I get you. Fine, fine, fine. I'll do it. And she just starts laughing. She's like, yeah, at least you're getting. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting it. Do I want to do it now? No, I don't. And she's like, ugh. She probably think she's dealing with a 2-year-old with me sometimes. But then when she's also at that moment, I'll be like, hey, what's happening? And she's like, I don't know. Like 2 days ago, I told her I felt so much like lost, like grieving. I don't know why I was so sad. I was very sad. It was the first time that California was sunny and not rainy, but I was so sad. I told her, I'm like, I don't understand. And then yesterday, literally, if you look at me wrong, I would have thought of murdering someone. I literally was like that yesterday. And I'm like, man, my hormones is messing me up. It's really bad. Like, help me, Dr. Trump. Give me a pill to get me balanced. I was dying yesterday. But having that type of friends that we can talk about crap like that and ourselves and laugh at it, no judgment. And then, hey, can we edit now? Like, we really need to edit this anthology. Oh, and tomorrow's the class for Zoom. That bouncing off, it's such an amazing journey, right? Such amazing life. But we don't have to keep it for ourselves. Right now, Level Up Academy, which you guys are all part of, we have classes for you guys, which is called, we call it the Free Community Master Mini Class, right? So let's talk about that. So Sana's going to be up. So let's go ahead and start with you. What's your class like and when is it going to be?
So my freebie class is going to be on the 5th of March, and my focus is on storytelling. It's going to be in that 1 hour. It's going to be a time to just go over some of the basics of what it means to do storytelling, because it's such a broad topic, and I want to bring it to everybody so that you can get the basics of storytelling. You can understand what's really the purpose of it and how you can use storytelling, whether it's for your story, your business. This is all bringing people into your story and making that connection. That's really what storytelling at its core is all about, is connecting people, connecting business to people, business to business, people to people. Why do you think people love science fiction, fantasy genre stories? There's a connection there. And why do you think they get bored with business stories? Because there's no connection there. They don't see it. They don't feel it. This is some of the stuff that we're going to touch on.
Yeah, and that's a free class. And if you go in there, bring your questions, obviously, but we'll provide you a certificate at the end. The class is probably around 30-40 minutes and then questions after that, but it's a whole hour that you can spend with us. And it is not live, okay? It is not stream, it is in Zoom. And we really dig deep on how you can have that storytelling as your tools, part of your tools in your toolbox, on how you can bridge the story of your life and bring it to business so you can show up authentically and not show up as everybody else that they want you to be. Now, Sister Trong, you're going to be, class is on March 19th. What's your class is going to be all about?
So for our community mini masterclass through the Level Up Academy. For me, I'm gonna do a topic on mindfulness. For the personal and business growth, on how that will apply and will help. I think not only because in our personal life things will always come up, and how we deal with those emotional challenges, and in business, when we have things that doesn't go well, or how do we deal with those? And mindfulness will take our business and our personal growth to the next level. So that is what I'm gonna do on the Level Up Academy.
And I posted a date there. It went through Facebook, but literally every single Tuesday in March, we will have a master mini class. However, towards the end of March, our sister Danielle has a main hustle during the day. So she will do one on a Sunday or a Saturday. We haven't figured it out, but more likely it might just be a Saturday or a Sunday. Same time, maybe not too early so that everyone can do it. It's free for the community. This is what we're giving to you guys. A little bit of taste of what's to come for Level Up Academy. We have a full blown course after that we're going to be offering for you guys as well, before we offer it to somewhere else with more higher ticket. For us in the Level Up Academy, because our mission is to level up the world through education, we want to make sure that our time is also paid, but it's also something that you all can afford. But we are definitely selling our classes somewhere else that might be higher than the Level Up Academy. So we're giving it for free, just a little taste on what it's like to be in our classroom, to engage with us, to really see what we're all about, right? And so that is for Dr. Trong. Now, March 12th, I was going to give it to Danielle, but that's a Tuesday, so I will take it on. My class is going to be about brand awareness. How do you show up for your own brand so you can be everywhere? And I'm actually going to be giving you guys, I have a planner. I know it's February, but I have two planners for you. One is 52 pages and one I think is 17. So I have a 2024 planner for you with all 6 parts of your life for free. And then I also have another PDF file that I will give you for free if you show up on March 12th for that. It is on Zoom. It is not live stream. You will have to sign up for that. And we will create a sign up soon because obviously it's next week, Tuesday, 1st of September. Not next week, but the week after next is March 5th, right? We're still in February, guys. And then March 26th is going to be Dr. Michelle Bose. Dr. Michelle Bose has a DBA like me, but instead of international business, she has an accounting degree because she's cray. She's really cray. But her topic is going to be bookkeeping in the new age. And it's all about talking on write-offs and home deductions if you are in the US, and what are some of the things that you can use to deduct for your business if you work from home. So you don't want to miss that. And that is free for the community as well. And that one, you still have to sign up, obviously. And we also give you certificates if you participate and come in to our class. But those are free classes that's coming up in March. Our book is going to be getting out on March 14th. March 22nd is when the physical book comes out. So please support us. You will not, okay, I'm going to guarantee this one. You will not come out reading our chapters without a tear or two. I can see that. I've read some of the chapters. I was like, and then just tears coming out. My husband's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I have really bad migraine and allergy right now," because I didn't want to tell him that I was reading someone's story, because he's like, "Stop reading. You're so emotional already right now." So I'm not allowed to read emotional stuff when I'm already emotional, because it just, and he knows me. I've been married 21 years, so he knows. But I just love my people's story because it's real. It's not, it's not something made up. It's their life that they're giving you as their vulnerability. I hate to end this conversation, but I'm going to start with Dr. Trung. What is your last minute, either a quote or advice in about 30 seconds or so?
Talk about putting on a spot.
That's right.
So I would say that your words are powerful. Your thoughts are powerful. So always reframe whatever that you come through change any obstacle and any challenges, any negative that you put out through your own thoughts and the words, then you watch how your reality would change, because it start with us. And so not only I wish that to every single soul, but everything start with us. Just think of that is your seed. What seed do you want to plant? So that is for you to plant that seed for the tree that you're gonna reap for tomorrow. So love you all. You all powerful, and much blessing to you all.
Yes, thank you. Now, Sister Susanna.
Stay focused on the present. Don't live in the past, because when you do that, you tend to make it your future. And what I've found is when I stay focused on the present, when I allow the past to just slip away under the waves, let it go, the present actually moves at the right space. And it means that the future is wide open, and you can really start to make plans and see them happen, because you're not thinking about what's been holding you back. You let it go. Stay in the present and go forward.
I love it. I almost wanted to sing, let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back any. Where's my daughter? She can sing. Anyway, Danielle, your turn.
Well, I would say if you're going through a hard time, or even if you're not, to hold your loved ones and your friends, like my sisters here with me today, close to your heart, because you never know when that last moment would be. And I think start with your heart, lead and communicate with empathy, and see where it leads you. So that's my last.
Awesome. Thank you. For me, it's two things. One is when you get angry or sad or mad or happy, whatever emotions that you're feeling, don't make decisions. Sleep on it. Sleep on it some more, right? The reason being is, again, I'm going to go back to words. Words matter. Words are very strong. When you say somebody to, like, words are, it could cut your heart, literally, right? So if you're angry, mad, sad, whatever it is, and you have to make a decision, sleep on it. Because regrets is just right around that corner. And living with regret is awful. So awful. And sometimes you only have so many chances to keep opportunities open. Not opportunities necessarily for money, but possible amazing friendship, right? Possible amazing unconditional love, possible collaboration beyond money can buy. So when you're angry, when you're mad, when you're sad, when you're happy, don't make hasty decisions. Sometimes when we're happy, we also say yes. And you're like, oh, wait, what did I say? Yes, I do that. I do that a lot. I volunteer myself to do something and I'm like, oh, CJ, what did you say? Yes. So just sleep on it for a bit and just really think about it and contemplate. And also, please lead with your heart and be kind to others, because kindness goes such a long way, right? And if people start telling you who you are, just take a mirror and say, who am I? Who am I? Right? Make sure your mirror is clean too, by the way, because you might just get something. But just say, who am I? Keep reminding yourself. And if you don't know, ask the people you trust, right? Guys, I really need help right now. And if you don't have anybody, we right here will be happy to talk to you. You can DM us, email us, throw rocks at us, we'll throw it right back at you with a bigger one. If you throw bread, we'll throw a bigger bread, right? Really, just DM us. We are here. We don't do judgment. That's just not who we are, because we went through so much in life and hardship that we understand what it means to be shunned, be on the corner with nothing and no one. And so this is a stronger relationship that we're moving forward, and friendship as a foundation of social entrepreneurship it has to come from a strong foundation of love and care and empathy and respect. From there, any type of turmoil, any type of miscommunication, nothing is impossible if you communicate. Not from the ego standpoint, not from the what if standpoint, from your heart. From your heart. If I see when you communicate from your heart, that that's really I'm a softie. I sound like I'm from the ghetto and whatever, but I'm a softie. Come from your heart, talk from your heart, it will be there. And doing business with people that you really vibe is so amazing, guys. It's so amazing. Try it. Try it. Either with us or with somebody else. I don't care who. Just try it. But you have to show your heart. Right? And don't pitch slap 2, 3 times after you're told no. I'm just saying. Bye everybody. Have
Bye.
a
Love you
Monday.
all.